All right, and well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Recruiter Roundtable. We'll call this the at-home version. All three of us today are working remote. Again, John, Taylor, great to have you guys on today.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
So, in honor, obviously today is a very important day. It is Veterans Day. And in honor of that, of course, we thought we would kind of delve a little bit into some synonyms or words that describe a good veteran military service. I'll get it kicked off. I think it's discipline. I think of several of our military leaders. I think of those in my family who've served our country with distinction. They all have one thing in common. That is, they're very disciplined individuals. The military teaches that. Saying no generally doesn't end well for you. So I think you can transition that well into our professional life. What disciplines do we have when it comes to, as a recruiter, I have certain disciplines about returning emails, when it comes to communicating with candidates, giving feedback when I can. How about when it comes to employees? What disciplines do you have when it comes to making sure you're taking care of your day? You're actually working either to improve yourself, or you're always being structured in how you move things, even if your day gets out of hand sometimes, even if there's distractions out there. How do you stay disciplined as you move through?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that. So, for me, I think we can all agree that being organized and being process oriented is one of the most important parts of our profession, is really like staying on course, on track in the course of your day. And then another thing, I just wrote like an example that makes me laugh. Maybe it's a little bit of overkill, but there's one thing that I do every day around midday. I straighten back up my desk. So I always leave a really organized, clean workspace at the end of the day. And around midday, it turns into everything everywhere. I bring it back to center, reorganize everything before I head out to lunch. And so that when I come back from a lunch break, I'm always ready to kind of hit the second half of that day. So whatever your form of discipline is, it's essential to being able to just keep yourself on track, focused, and working in the direction of whatever your goal for that given day is. And of course, so many of those characteristics are relevant in recruiting.
Yeah, and I think the process-driven piece is where you have to come from. Everything military-driven is process-driven. My stepfather was in West Point, and it was all about processes for him all the way through. And so, we leave those processes on the table when we're doing recruiting. We got to make sure we touch base with them. And as Chris, as you asked, you talk about how do you deal with a client or a company when it comes to that. Well, processes for me are to make sure that, they get the proper candidates in due time. We're talking 36 to 72 hours. We're doing our due diligence to make sure our processes are right, to make sure they get candidates quickly. And then, of course, follow up on the candidates and, that kind of stuff. So again, putting processes in place that make sure the discipline makes sense. And as Taylor put it, if it takes the time to recoup your day after lunch, then do it, because God only knows we're going to need that on days that we're super busy, right?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to jump in next with service to others. At the end of the day, we are so lucky to have so many soldiers defending our country and doing so in service to us and our nation. And to them, I think we all want to say thank you. We are indebted. And, in no way to draw a parallel between what we do as recruiters to what the sacrifice and service that our armed forces make for the nation is. But, similarly, our industry requires service to others. If you're in this as a recruiter, either just for your paycheck or, a commission check, if you're a third-party agency or whatever it might be, it's just not the right spirit, right? At the end of the day, you got to find the deeper meaning in our business, and that's being of service to others who are trying to find a career opportunity and take the next step in that career, or help a client with their with their job opening, whatever that might be. But at the end of the day, service to others is so essential in what we do. What do you think about that, John?
Yeah, and I definitely think just in what we do is it is true to that, service to others, not only to our clients, but I think we have to worry about service to others to our employees. And I know, Taylor, you and I have had these conversations before about how we cherish and value our employees. And, this has given us a hard time dealing with COVID to fight it. But, you got to make decisions based on what's best for them and what's best for the business. And, it was a rough lead, but you had to take charge when it came to that.
Right.
I think we're in the wrong business if we don't have a servant mentality. Mm-hmm. Just being honest. I'll be honest, for all we talk about it, I'm nothing as a recruiter without my candidates, I should say, not my candidates. When I work in the, account executive role, I'm nothing without my clients. If I don't have clients, there's no jobs for the candidates. If I don't have candidates, there's no placement for any of our clients. So at the end of the day, I'm here to serve people, and it's a servant mentality. You have to think of it that way. That's, I think, when we look at the military, bottom line, they have it right. They know what their purpose is, and they live to it each and every day. They know what their servant role is, and they never forget it. And I think it's important we look at the same way.
Yeah. And, to me, there's two very, very important pieces to the servant leadership and then just serving people. And number one being, to me, is empathy. Like, we have to, as recruiters, truly, truly believe in empathy. When somebody is telling you they lost their job because of a reason or, whatever it was. And, if you don't deliver that empathy there, it's not going to go well in the long haul. And then, of course, with employees, you have to do the same thing. But to me, one of the biggest things out of all servant leadership is self-awareness. And without self-awareness, you just can't deliver anything else. You can't deliver the proper listening skills. You can't deliver the proper persuasion. You can't deliver empathy if you're not self-aware. So, I really do feel that those two are the ones that hit home for me the most, no matter if it's clients, candidates, or, the people who drive my business, my employees.
I agree 100%. I think that speaks volumes when it comes to the servant side of things. It's putting people first. And if we don't, whether it's you look at it from an employee standpoint when it comes to understanding, hey, listen, this is a life-changing event for you. You've lost your job, being empathetic toward them. And I think it's important. Empathy is really important, but it's being true, putting ourselves in their shoes, and understanding what they're going through. And at the same time, being empathetic to our clients. Let's be honest, in most cases, our clients are, and while I would love for our clients to have the first call be to a recruiting firm, in many cases, by the time they've reached out to us, they've already exhausted steps 1, 2, and 3. And so we have to be understanding the fact that, you've already been through the ringer to reach out to us. Let's be empathetic and help you out too.
Yeah. I think that word empathy is, we could almost do a whole episode on this, guys, just the meaning of that word. You've got to have empathy for what people are going through, where they're at. While, of course, staying true to that recruiting is a business. And, sometimes you also have to be, kind and gentle enough to deliver a tough decision if a client doesn't want to hire you, or if, a candidate that they were really excited about backed out. Like, having the ability to effectively communicate that and be empathetic. Hey, I'm sorry, our client doesn't want to hire you. I'm going to continue to keep you in mind because I thought you were a great fit. And just because you weren't a fit for them doesn't mean you're not a fit for someone else. So the whole cycle of the relationship and in our own is essential. Empathy, and of course, self-awareness is just essential, not just in recruiting, but in life. So,
Well, again, great points. Again, talking about servant, talking about leadership, talking about discipline. And again, as we wrap up today, a special thank you again to our veterans. We know we could not, our country's freedom has been dependent upon you. So God bless each and every one of you for your service to our country. And we just, again, are grateful for all you've done. We'll be back again, in 2 weeks, I believe it is.
2 weeks.
And I believe I've heard rumors about some Thanksgiving stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that in 2 weeks. Again, have a great rest of your day, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys. Thank you for tuning in.